Hello there. 2020 has had many interesting infights. Some were frustrating, some were really fun, and some were just plain torture. While most of the fights were less RNG based than the 2021's infights, they had more mechanics to look out for and were more difficult. So here I am talking about the infights that I loved and the ones that I hated of 2022.
Start us off, we have The Weight of Life, which naturally has a few problems, which is why it's landed us here at the third worst fight of the 2023 list. Some of the problems include Juniper's high bonus attack on the first attack of any rotation, the large heal, which only gets worse if you get hit by that first attack on any rotation, and the constantly stacking and damaged nuke that Juniper does somewhere in the rotation. Meanwhile, Adjudicator has a really tricky anti-crit mechanic you have to keep track of, as well as some other debuffs and buffs, which just combined really does not make the fight enjoyable. At the very least, it has some pretty good music.
Okay, this one might get some hate, but Dance of the Stars is a really fun fight for me. Its difficulty is well balanced, with Alzine dealing high amounts of damage, while Ateos has occasional nukes. Both of them are stunnable ones too. Along with that, Isiri and Nereos are giving them some buffs. Unfortunately, this fight only makes it to third place on the best fights list, due to the massive heals and because the fight can be really tough if you don't know what you're doing.
My gosh, the second fight we have here is just so bad. Never a part of one of those fights that sounds awesome concept-wise, but ends up being really painful in reality. Achilles has stupid debuffs and buffs. Patroclus has a stupid plus-all resistance mechanic. Don't know why. A pet removal and a termination nuke. Not to mention if Patroclus dies first, Achilles becomes enraged and his nuke becomes an instant kill. If Achilles dies first, well, Patroclus is on perma-termination, meaning he will constantly nuke you if you buff yourself. Literally nothing is good about this fight apart from its concept. Hence is why I'm placing this fight in the second worst fight on our list.
Another controversial pick. Apart from the obvious bias of having the fast best-in-slot energy reward, Fallen Kingdom is a great fight to me. Alteon has a cool mechanic where you can target his different body parts. Destroying each part would lead to some sort of buff. Korvac, meanwhile, doesn't do a lot of damage apart from doing a mega nuke if you don't hit him with one of his 3 elements on the second turn of his rotation. Sadly, this fight only makes it to second place on best fights, due to Alteon's phase 2, and because it's somewhat difficult to remember to hit Korvac. Hi Nova.
Alright. Everyone, you all saw this one coming, right? Like, no you didn't. Retribution and Reclamation. The worst fight to come out in 2022. There's just so many issues with this fight. Dominex gets really strong nukes, has a really strong shield, and which just even makes him even tougher to burst, you know? Meanwhile, Draconin applies negative 60 fire to you and deals really high damage, thus contributing to your struggle against Tolmex in a really horrible way. And the reward is just a slightly better Titan Visage, which is just sad. Unfortunately for it, even the awesome music couldn't save this disaster of a fight.
Alright, Swan Song, not the extreme version, is my favorite fight of 2022. The concept is amazing, the reward is really cool, and the music is fantastic. Darkon has a couple of mechanics to make him interesting. Suhi is an acceptable threat. Yes, I am aware of the Draco Claw to 50% health and the huge heals and null resistance. But that's what makes the fight difficult instead of a direct cakewalk. All in all, this fight is amazing. However, the same can't be said for its extreme version.
And that's my ranking for the top 3 best and worst infights of 2022. I know Swang Song Extreme could have been ranked as one of the worst fights, but that fight is in its own realm of difficulty, so I prefer not to rank it with the others. Anyways, let me know in the comments below if you agree or disagree with my list. Thank you for watching.